Imagine for a moment that you are standing at the edge of a cliff. The winds are howling, and there is a storm building up in the distance. Just as you prepare to take a step back to safety, someone grabs your arm, trying to pull you closer to the edge. You struggle, you fight, but you don't let go. It's only when you break free, running towards safety, that you realize that in that very moment, they were leading you to danger. Sometimes in life, we find ourselves in situations where people, relationships, or even entire phases of life are seemingly taken away from us. It might feel confusing, hurtful, even unfair. But here is a powerful truth: God doesn't just remove people from your life for no reason. Sometimes He does it because He is protecting you. You might be sitting here thinking, why would a loving God take away someone I care about? Why would He allow someone leave my life if I've prayed for their presence, for their guidance, for their love? It's in these moments of uncertainty that we must look deeper, beyond the surface of what seems like loss, and understand that God is actually shaping our journey with divine precision, orchestrating the removal of certain people for our good. Let me start with something we all know, but we don't always reflect on. You see, life is made up of seasons. Seasons change, sometimes slowly, sometimes suddenly, but they always change. And in every season, we need different things from the people around us. Think about the way a tree sheds its leaves in the fall. The leaves might have been beautiful and vibrant, but they are no longer needed in the season to come. They've served their purpose. In much the same way, some people are placed in your life for a season of growth, encouragement, or teaching. They help you learn lessons or shape your character for a certain period of time. But just like the leaves, they might not be meant to stay. When God removes them, it can feel like a loss. It can sting. But what if this loss is just the end of one season and the start of another? What if, in removing that person, God is making space for someone new who will help you grow even further? Someone who will push you closer to your purpose and align you with the next season of your life. There is a deeper level of understanding we need to grasp here. God removes people to protect us from harm, whether physical, emotional, or spiritual. Think about this. Have you ever been in a relationship where something didn't feel quite right? Maybe you couldn't put your finger on it, but there was an unsettling feeling in your gut. You tried to ignore it, to push through, because you didn't want to lose the person or you thought they were important to your life. Yet, somehow, in the end, they hurt you. Maybe they betrayed your trust, took advantage of your kindness, or simply weren't as genuine as they appeared. God sees things you can't see. He sees the hurt of every person, their true intentions, and sometimes He removes people not because they are bad people, but because He's keeping you safe from situations, relationships that could wound you. He's keeping you from potential heartbreak, from being distracted, from getting sidetracked on your path. Now, let's get a little deeper. How many of you have ever found yourself clinging to someone who wasn't meant to be in your life long term? Maybe it was a toxic friend, an unhealthy romantic relationship, or even a family dynamic that kept pulling you back into unhealthy patterns. It can be so hard to walk away from something or someone that feels familiar, even when you know deep down that it isn't good for you. But here's the truth: there is a blessing in the separation. I'm not just talking about the relief that comes from being free of negative people, though that's a huge blessing. I'm talking about the space it creates in your life. When God removes someone from your life, He's making room for something better. He's making room for growth, healing, new opportunities, and the people who will actually elevate you and align with your calling. God doesn't remove people just to leave a void in your life. No, He takes out what's old and preparing you for what's new. Trust in divine timing. This is where faith comes in. Trusting in God's timing isn't always easy. especially when we don't understand the reasons behind his actions. But think about it this way: if you are in a storm and you're holding on to someone who can't swim, who's going to help you when you both get swept away? God sees the storm ahead and He removes certain people from your life to make sure you are in the best position to withstand it. There are times when the people around us might not be able to handle what's coming, and God knows that. He might remove someone because He knows that the weight of the storm would break them, and in turn, break you too. It's an act of protection for both of you. Have you ever found yourself stuck emotionally or spiritually in a relationship or situation that wasn't serving you anymore? Perhaps you kept trying to make things work, but you felt like you were in a constant state of frustration and confusion. What if that relationship was actually stunting your growth? You see, God often removes people who are holding us back from stepping into the fullness of who we are meant to be. Sometimes we grow complacent in relationships that are toxic or limiting. We get stuck in patterns that don't allow us to move forward. And sometimes God's intervention feels harsh, but it's actually a divine push to encourage you to evolve. Imagine a butterfly trapped inside its cocoon. The butterfly might want to stay cozy, stay comfortable inside that shell. But in order to grow, it has to break free. God might be removing people from your life to give you the space to transform, to become the person He has always intended you to be. And here is the most important piece of this conversation: God's plan for you is always greater than anything you can imagine. You might not understand why people has been removed from your life or why a certain relationship ended, but believe that God is working everything for your good. The removal of people might not always make sense in the moment, but you can trust that it's for a purpose. And often it's a purpose that you won't fully understand until much later. But let me tell you this: your story is far from over. You are on a journey that God is leading you through. And while you may experience moments of loneliness or confusion, remember this: God is always with you, guiding you, protecting you, and preparing you for the next steps in your journey. So, I urge you to look at the people who have left your life or are being removed from it, not as losses but as divine protection. Let go. Trust that what's ahead is better than what's behind. Let God guide you into the season of growth, healing, and transformation that He has planned for you. And remember, sometimes the greatest act of love is letting go. Trust that in His timing, with His wisdom, God is working things out in ways you can't see yet, but will one day understand. When you trust the process, you'll find peace, even in the pain. I hope this has helped someone today. Thank you for watching or listening, and I hope to see you in my next video. Bye.